Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, our Impact Wrestling fam? Welcome to episode 116 of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff, and alongside me again is the Savannah Evans to my Tasha Steele. It's Lucha. What's going on, Lucha?
What's up? What's going on, everybody? How we doing tonight out here?
Getting in character.
Doing nothing but folding my arms and picking up dubs.
That's the key, picking up dubs. Well, speaking of that, we got a lot to talk about. Kind of a slow week these past 2 weeks when it comes to news, but there's nonetheless there's a few great comments from you guys and some other things that I want to mention, and of course our chat will light up inevitably with the same great people that always come through. So we appreciate you guys there. We appreciate the numbers. Elon and his bot destroyer has got us on the Twitter, so so we're down to 3,950. We're still trying to get to 4,000, but. Hey, thanks for the bots, for the love, though. And you guys killing it, keeping us at 40% of our viewing audience to subscribers. So thank you. And Twitch numbers have been up, rocking it here live with us, with Lucha and myself. But as I said, a lot to talk about, including a Lady Frost update, Double J and AEW. TV opportunities that may arise. We'll talk about that. And then VBD growing as well. And, of course, Savannah and Tasha on the rise. Is that your violence?
I am violence.
Lucha, all that I just mentioned, what are you most excited about talking about today?
It's crazy. You said a slow week. Like it's been a slow news week the last couple of weeks, which is true. But right. As far as like the show, there's been a lot of moving parts coming into place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of frustrations that some folks may have had are kind of getting dealt with. At least in my opinion, you just gotta see the forest for the trees,
Yeah, and that forest, is it the forest that gets thick? Well, either way, it's hard to look at it sometimes when, it doesn't go the way you exactly want it. But we've mentioned that. I really feel like I see all sides here, beach ball theory people. But at the same time, I think there's an easy way if we want to look for it, for us just to be happy with what we're getting at this point, because I think there's some things we'll talk about that were missed, but a lot of hits, man. I really feel that. I really agree. And we were both kind of in decline for a little bit. So as we always say here, honest, transparent, unbiased. So we'll tell you the good and the bad, and most importantly, one fan at a time, one friend at a time. So get those numbers up for us, but also those numbers for Impact Wrestling. Momentum coming in. So interesting. But speaking of that, we got some great shows not only here for you tonight, but also on this channel. And I want to give some love to them, including Craig and Nixon talking bloody nonsense every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. BST. And they just had TBN chats together with Zach Zodiac, which came out on Wednesday, which is a dope interview there. So go check that out, man. He talks about everything. Really cool to see the Night Legacy live on. Check that out. And then, we'll get to the power rankings in a second in those two. But LOL TNA episode 3 coming this Tuesday, right after GoGo Power Rankings. We bring back TNA Jams. TNA Jams, myself, DJ G, Lucha as TJ Black, Snow, and Johnny as DJ Morphoplex. But yeah, it's a fun time. We do 9 different theme songs for 10 of the participants you'll see in our 4th week's Battle Royal. So go check that out, as well as our Total Nonstop Deletion review for the first episode and our TNA video game story mode watch along. All right, we're killing it on time. Let's get to that. The other show I want you guys to check out, as always, is GoGo Power Rankings on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bert and Datila. We'll go over the top 10 in literally just a second. But you could check out what they have to say about the Power Rankings you're about to see. And also, if you want to join the Power Rankings, if you want to make a difference, Lucha's breathing, exhaling, waiting for him. We'll get right into him. But if you want to make a difference, at BurtMacklin11, at TNAIWchannel, hit us up, join the Power Rankings, put it in. That's all you got to do.
And look, it's it's not about everybody having the same opinion on, who's at what ranking. It's about different, because, wrestling is subjective. It's about the different points of views from different people that come together, and that's a good little average of the fan base, and who's the top 10. Whether it's on a week to week basis, or whether it's through a consistent time, it's however you want to look at it. All views are welcome in the committee. So just join up, vote or cry.
Vote or cry, and art is subjective, and I really believe, especially Impact is an art form. So join us. All opinions are welcome. Make sure you rank those champions, though, man. Give those champions their respect. Let's get into those power rankings.
Number 10, Cardona and Myers, the major players. Number 9, the advancing PJ Black. Number 8, New Japan's Aussie Open. Number 7, Savannah Evans and Tasha Steeles. Number 6, the growing Vitamin by Design. Number 5, the advancing Mike Bailey. Number 4, world champion Jordan Grace. Number 3, Ace and Bay Bullet Club. Number 2, number 1 contender Frankie Kazarian. Number 1, world champion Josh Alexander.
All right, guys. Do you agree with the power rankings? I think there's some things there. Lucha, your thoughts initially?
While I personally wanted Tasha and Savannah to be a little higher, because I kind of gave them more of a bump on my personal ones, the fact that they've made the top 10 period, I'm cool with that. Bullet Club at 3 kind of surprised me, but I guess with the same logic of Tasha and Savannah, how they've been on a run, whether it's singles or tags the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Bullet Club's kind of been about the same, especially since that controversial loss. So it's been
where the AEW guy took a pin.
Yeah, the guy that wasn't even ours in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. But no, man, I agree there. I think the number can be whatever. I think up and down is subjective as well. Hendry, for someone who I wasn't high on him. We weren't high on him. We were high on him, the individual. Maybe just not how he entered, right? But what a segment, man. That was a segment we'll talk about in just a second. I thought he deserved one on there. I know there's other people that... Aussie Open maybe could be one of those people that moved up and down. Macklin maybe deserved a role for his bomb promo. But let's talk about how we got there. Because we could talk all day about power rankings. Once again, check out Burton Datila this Tuesday.
Whoa.
Let's talk about Impact. Impact on Access TV review board. Let's see, is anyone in the chat? Hey, if you guys are in the chat, hit us up here. Help us out. Lifeblood of the show. If not, it's all right. We'll have a lot to talk about, but of course we love you guys being in there. Thank you to our audio listeners who are going back up and to our YouTube. We know it's a slower time, but I think it's a good time for where Impact's going. But let's start there. We're headed to BTI and Iceman Intel. And I know where Impact's going. They're going to the desert. They're in Nevada desert, as we always seem to hit while we're there. Filming some stuff there, and Eddie's there, and that's what Iceman wants to talk about. So he's there, and he's furious, and he is waiting for PCO, I guess, is what Iceman the Intel has, which seems to be like, it's not really Intel. Well, I guess it is, right? It's not rumors or... I don't know.
He took a text message. He took a text message that Eddie sent him. BRB going to desert to kick PCO's ass, and turned that into his intel, his scoop of the week.
See me on hashtag Impact on Access TV segment 1, 3, and 7. Yeah. It seems to be something that just sells the show. So whatever. So nothing intel-y there. But next up was the match you couldn't miss because it's for the X division. And last week, once again, I thought was awesome with Crazy Steve announcing Black Taurus coming out there and picking up the win. And then this week we get PJ Black defeating Yuya Uemura. And I thought it was a good match. Good to see PJ Black back in Impact, former King of the Mountain champion, and his GFW Next Gen champion is Scott D'Amore got on air,
right.
which was a good. He said he still owns stock in the company, piece of the company. I thought that was good shit. We'll get to his buddy Double J in Hot Topics, but. Yeah, so PJ Black advancing here, something we talked about in the bracketology for. We just kind of figured, and once again, spoiler free, but it just made sense to bring in this guy. He wasn't going to lose first round. So we get PJ Black against the aforementioned Black Taurus in a couple weeks, the week right before Overdrive.
And if y'all miss this match on BTI, or honestly any of the matches in the tournament, if you got an Impact Plus, they got a playlist of every match in the tournament thus far. So if you want to go, and whether it's now you missed the match or you want to watch the whole tournament leading up to the finals on Overdrive, they got that playlist for you. Impact Plus is showing they got value and they got gems, and I love it. So y'all check that out if you got it.
All right. See, I didn't know that. That's awesome. See, that's a smart way to use the app. Put those. Yeah, that's smart, man.
Just the matches too, you cut through all the bullshit.
That's cool. Money. Next up is Eddie promo about the aforementioned, again, twice already aforementioned, Desert Talking. So he's talking, shout out to Io there, Twitter man himself, but he's talking in the desert. He wants Io. He wants PCO. I knew it was 3 letters that ended in O. And then right after that, we go into another X Division semifinals, right? No? Quarterfinals, first seed, right? Not first seed, first round. Dude, it's going to be off. But anyways, we get Mike Bailey, that rematch, which I really I like these two paired together. But Mike Bailey defeating Kenny King. First off, Kenny King, banger of theme. So good to have him have his own music, sticking around. Another thing, I think he's a steal of this all, man. Not only does he have that TNA rub to him, so there's the history, but he's just a cool cat, man. Good character, always entertaining, has charisma. So he sells a segment, and that's, hey, can't complain about that. But here he goes, he's losing. I didn't think it was in a bad way to Mike Bailey, though. I thought it felt like it was one of those things, did he kick out, did he? One of those moments, so it wasn't like they were both surprised, like that moment from Tom and Matt where he said, oh, look, he's shocked. Kenny King's shocked that he lost. Oh, look at Mike Bailey, shocked that he won. So, nice moment there. We saw this coming, but overall, great match. New threads for Bailey, dope threads for Bailey. Thoughts on the match?
I mean, we knew where we were going, but it's not where we're going. It's about how we get there. The match was it was a good TV match, with neither one of them having the belt. So I mean, they're both kind of sort of on the even playing field as far as like stakes go. So I mean, it was cool. I like it.
Yeah, I did too, man. And once again, what I was trying to say was glad Kenny's sticking around, and as you can see, maybe more this episode than anyone so far, because there was a lot of talk in that last episode. There was some here too. There's gonna be segments, but this started to get back. I don't want to say it, but get back to where every segment matters. Remember we talked about for a while it was like Attitude Era, where maybe not that extreme, but every segment mattered. Like it was no like sleepy segment. There was no, everything was full. Everyone felt like they had a part and made sense, and we're getting back there. And this was another thing where 2 guys go in the ring. I care about both of them. One came out. By the way, X Factors.
Love it.
Dude, next level. Like, to get back to that, we talk about this off air a lot, man. The TNA vibe that it seems to be getting back to. There's things I know we were upset about as an Impact community, the hard cam being back to the stage and things. I think they do need to get that into a signature look, and away from there with maybe the how we used to have the TNA beam, something that gives us whatever. We could talk all day about that. But yeah, I thought the X Factors were just an extra touch that TNA used to do back then. And it bless you, and it looks even better now. So I thought it was really cool. Shout out to them, and shout out to them for making Bailey's reign still matter. Loved that they showed Swan was the one right above him with 10 10 defenses as the last X Division champion. So putting some actual credibility in these reigns, which I love. Next up was Motor City Machine Guns, and of course, they're first giving their opinion on Aussie Open. It's cool they acknowledge that they just beat them, that Motor City did for the titles. I don't think they mentioned titles, but they mentioned that. And then, they have to put their 2 cents in when it comes to Bully Ray and Josh Alexander. Now, at this point, look, everyone could say, and I agree. Oh, everyone's going to tell them their opinion about it. That's the whodunit. Yeah, it's the not the whodunit, but is that going to be the general narrative? It is, because at the end of the day, I think Josh. It looks more and more like it's going to be Josh that screws Bully before Bully could screw him, kind of thing. And I also think that Josh's facial expressions, what's up to critical Sting, were perfect here. Oh, but I know everyone's telling you, but I gotta tell you. And he rolls his eyes, and he rolled at the end too, like, okay, thanks for the advice. Like, that's how he should be. He should be annoyed about hearing it. He should be angered about hearing about this guy who's gonna stab him in the back, who, mind you, is minding his own with Moose right now, which I thought was dope. We'll talk about that. So, I thought this was a nice segment. I get all sides, but yeah, I thought this was cool. To keep it rolling a little bit, Vexed, and first of all, Giselle's giving out pictures of herself with the world title, Knockouts world title. Great stuff. But Giselle sees Vexed, and they try to cut her from the group. They mention her breaking up the Influence, which I thought was cool. And then Giselle breaks up with them before they can break up with her. So really cool here as a total between these two segments. Your thoughts?
Well, as far as the Giselle and Vex thing, I was so annoyed when she came out like with the pictures, because I'm just like, oh my god, bro, like, you didn't even win. Like, why are you? But then
that's the point.
Exactly, and that's
she's
why
the Dwight Howard of that group.
Oh god, don't do that.
They're Kobe and Paul, and she's.
I mean, Vex is just mad that Giselle beat her to the punch, because they were about to break up with her, and then she was like, "Yeah, oh, I don't need y'all." So now they look like suckers,
right? I know we'll talk about that. I know we're trying to hold back a little bit. We have a little bit of hot topics about that, but I loved it because once again, continuity. You broke up the Influence. You had this.
She's the Kyrie.
She's the. Oh no! I think the Dwight one. Dwight one. Well, I'm just saying the Dwight one works because Kobe and Paul wanted to win, and Dwight was he didn't care about the dub. He got his numbers. True. He had the money. He had the fame. He didn't care about all that stuff. They wanted the win. Does Giselle? Does she just want the picture? Does she want the actual dub? We'll have to see. But next up was something I think we're both excited about. I know we're both excited about. We used the intro about it, but. Tasha comes out with Savannah, or Savannah comes out with Tasha. Yeah. And Tasha, of course, is the mouth, so she's going to issue an open challenge. And Jessica answers the call with the Death Dolls. Now, interesting for a few reasons. Now we already, fast forward, we got them at Overdrive.
Yep.
Because Savannah picks up the win here. Shenanigans, sure, some nonsense, if you will. But a win's a win. And I thought this was I don't want to, I'm trying to say in kayfabe, how to word it in kayfabe, but because that's where I think this is coming from. It's Jessica's inexperience as a wrestler or champion to accept a challenge as the champion, Or you could say she's a fighting champion, even though it's.
But was it a case of Jessica looking at Savannah as food, and it was Death Doll's like, well, if you want her, go get her? Or was this another case of Jessica being Jessica and overzealous, and they're just like, trying to stop her? But they didn't really look too reluctant to come down with her. It almost looked like they all thought they were food, Tasha and Savannah. So they were like, fuck it, let's go catch this easy dub. But you thought wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a great way of looking at it, different way of looking at it. And it makes sense. I mean, you could say from different perspective of why the face in Jessica, who wants to be, overzealous, whatever, wants to get in there, would make the chance. But what the point is she lost, and now we get them at Overdrive. So who's the real winners? It's us and Tasha and Savannah. I don't know the outcome of that. We'll save that, obviously, for when we get a little closer. But huge fan of where they're going here and developing another tag team. So that's where you think they're going. I don't know if we'll see. Next up was the match of the week. Another great way to sell Impact Plus, besides for the way Lucha did it. Bully is the leader of Aces and Eights. Remember that moment? People, plants throwing trash in the ring.
I was for some reason like I got hoodwinked. I don't know.
You didn't think it was Bully Ray?
He got me. Bully got me. Yeah.
Face paint, face Bully. Bully was he tricked you, man? You thought he was a good guy?
I ain't gonna lie. I did.
So that's why you're so adamant about Bully. He's gonna beat Bully. He's gonna screw him is because he got you once. Shame on you, right?
Josh
or shame on him, right?
Josh, in his sick way, can say, "I'm screwing you to get back at you for screwing TNA X years ago. This is for lockdown, bitch."
It's possible. I really feel like that's where they're headed. Is Josh screwing Bully? Because
Josh opened up the box. I'm not forgetting this damn promo from Slammiversary. Josh opened up the box with the TNA history. So, he's going through, looking through shit. Maybe Josh wants to go and, correct TNA history, which will be an ill angle. And then he sees
new time splitter.
He's the new man of justice, of twisted justice. I'm calling for this. I don't want to call it a Heart Foundation. This Team Canada rejuvenation.
I hope so, man. I really do. Especially if Bailey doesn't win this, which I don't think he does. I think it's Black Truce's to lose. But next up is Killer Kelly vignette. I don't know why I wrote logo there. I'm losing my mind. But she there's a vignette for her, which come on, how can't you love them? And then it goes to where she's on the prowl. She's finding new prey backstage. She's one of those characters, man, when we talk about, we need more women, we know that's just kind of mingling, still staying relevant, still on TV, picking up W's. But these vignettes could carry her for as long as she wants. Yeah. So, but this is where we're going to get to promo. So I'm going to roll through them, and then I'll get your thoughts all at once, Lucha. After her was Eddie in the Desert promo again, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then Macklin is here, and he's talking about people jumping the line, the world title. Love the green behind him. Great promo for him. Keep selling the mercenary or whatever gimmick they're putting on him. I've always, from day one, I said, give him a leather jacket, give him the skull, and give him a cigar. This guy is the Punisher, Wolverine. You can make him whatever you want, and the work they're doing with this guy is phenomenal. Now, he's talking, and he does mention Bully Ray politicking, getting the cup, and moving on. Talking about Kazarian using options. He's talking about Bobby Fish being there, just asking for one and getting. I thought this was one of those things that maybe you were mentioning earlier, where it just kind of connected all the dots, or fixed a lot of the issues I thought we had. And this was one of those segments that I thought did. And then here's the next one, really quick, which was major players talking about how they're going to be tag team champions at Overdrive. They'll have 2 belts, whatever. Looking like stars, by the way. These dudes are next level.
Yes.
And one of those moments that, we weren't sure on a couple weeks ago and then eventually clicked with Bound for Glory and on was Joe Hendry, right? Those little cheap, whatever. But this is, by the way, follower of us on Twitter, so shout out to Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry.
So Joe Hendry believes in nonsense?
He believes in nonsense. And we believe in him. And that's the point, is that this was one of those segments that I think, in the grand scheme of things, I will remember as one of the funniest moments in modern history of this company. He comes out of a fridge, challenges for the DMC. Challenge accepted for next week. Love Brian Myers as the DMC, but we'll see what happens there. And then Cardona delivering the line of, "Did you just come out of the fridge?" Good shit, man. Your thoughts on those segments as a whole? We had from Eddie, 10, 11, and 12, Eddie, Macklin, and major players, Joe Hendry.
I mean, Eddie in the Desert was Eddie in the Desert. So that was really that. As far as Macklin with the world title, though, to
Yeah.
me, it kind of seems like they're doing with Macklin and his gripe about not getting his shot at the belt what they should have done with Eddie for his gripe for not getting a shot at the belt when Kenny had it. It seems like I
Kind of
mean, I
did that.
could be.
They used it, but they didn't. Yes, it wasn't
Yeah.
straightforward. It's all this war stuff. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Eddie was. I mean, it got like lost in the shuffle because Eddie was trying to, promote his message of honor
War. No more.
no more. So, that got weird.
Yeah.
But, had they stuck with that original gripe of like I'm the one who's like the flag bearer of the company, you're not giving me this title, that would have
Yeah.
been better. They kept with that. And it seems like with Steve Macklin, it's like it seems like he's honestly feeding off of everybody who's pissed that he lost Call Your Shot.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like he's kind of doing it for y'all in that regard. It's like, bro, I see this bullshit. I see this bullshit, and I don't like it. Just like they don't like it. The only difference is I can do something about it. So Macklin, like I've been saying for weeks, Macklin ain't got pissed off yet. I
Yeah.
think he's pissed now.
He is. He's
I think
got
he's
Josh in
pretty
his crosshairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as Joe Hendry, obviously, you believe as well now. In
I
the
don't want to say
context,
his name because he'll appear, and my closet door's right here. So if this MF just comes through my closet, just like some other guy from the Isle of Anabolic,
oh,
then
shit.
I'm just gonna lose my mind.
LOL tree. Yeah, besides the shirt, give the man a good shirt. I'm glad it's white. At least there's, at least a new color shirt Impact. But give the man a good shirt. That one looks like literally it's from his Impact run with Billy Corgan.
I want the yellow VBD shirts. Like,
Yeah,
give me
that'd
that.
be cool. That'd be cool. Hit up or want to talk about the chat really quick. Shout out to the chat. I believe in a new DMC. All right. Millard, Hendry is so on fire, even a freezer can't cool him off. Critical Sting, I think Macklin is the one that screws Bully. I'm for it.
I mean, yeah.
For it. As long as we get that end, as long as we get where we think we're going, I'm happy. So, continuing on, once I already said it, but if we're in Vegas, we're getting desert, and we get desert here. Desert or casino. And they always tape a lot in a row. I think they taped 4 weeks worth of television, right? The whole ride to Overdrive here. Yeah. So this is where we get a lot of talking segments where we get some brawls and stuff of that nature. Cinematic brawl here. Thought it was entertaining. The burial of PCO is maybe Eddie putting it in his rear view, but I think they do have another match coming up, if I'm not mistaken, from the tapings. Unless this was it. But either way, it gives someone who just signed a new contract in PCO a way to introduce them with the Honor No More stuff behind him. Is that where they're going to do with this? I don't know. But at least it gives him the opportunity to, he's buried now. Who's going to resurrect him? Or does he resurrect himself? Does he, hey man, I don't know if what happens, and spoiler free, of course, but I still, James Mitchell and him seem like they could be money. Just could be money.
It gives us another chance to, it gives them a chance to hit the he's alive
Right.
line, because my man did get buried, so you know what I'm saying, and we know he's sticking around, so it's not like he got wrote off, so
right, yeah.
It's gotta not be over.
It's definitely, well, Critical Sting saying there that they still have a street fight coming up, so there is going to be something, but maybe so then it's an evolution of PCO. We'll see. Maybe it's nothing, but either way, with a character like PCO, you can have these fun moments, these different artistic moments that let you expand the universe, if you will. So, I always like them. Next up was another talking segment, but one I thoroughly enjoyed. Mickie James, by the way, both of these ladies actually have a new shirt, one of which we'll preview later. I couldn't get the picture of Mickey's, but Taylor Wilde and Mickie James talking here, saying, hey, Mickie, I still want that match. Oh, yeah, well, I got Chelsea and this and that and that. So, something to keep our eye on. I think we obviously still get that match down the road. Taylor teasing her change of character, which obviously the shirt proves to be true. But I think it's inevitable, and I think it's a really cool throwback. Taylor Wilde, Mickie James, literally three. Well, when Jordan was in the picture, it was three eras of knockouts.
That's true. Pre-knockout, knockout, and then knockout new gen.
Yeah. I always thought that eventually PCO would join Decay, Millard says. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. I know, they're not even a thing right now. So it's really interesting. I want to, we're for something we're so known for, we really haven't had a lot of, we had to talk about it, but Undead Realm and that kind of gimmick, we've taken a break a little bit from that. So I wouldn't mind us diving back in.
The last time we were supposed to go there, we ended up going to this place of lightness where Jessica came from.
Right. Yeah, there's something up here, man, especially with the moving parts and the Knockouts tag, which we'll talk about. We'll see. Maybe we take a trip there sooner rather than later. Keep this train going, though. Next is a first-time match, which we don't get an ending to, but hey, depending on how you felt about it, I thought it was sufficient enough. Eric Young versus Sami Callihan, two Impact dudes. Having a match here. Giner obviously with EY, and we get the swarm of minions, pun intended, I guess.
The swarm
yellow
of
minions.
violence.
Swarm of violence. They're all there, eventually taking Sami down, and we get two reveals.
The debut of Violence and Violence.
We get the debut of Violence and Violence. I've been pushing for Masha. I've been mentioning Macklin. And we get Alan Angels and Big Con. Lucha, how do you feel about that?
I actually was legit shook when I saw Alan Angels in the hoodie. Big Con, people kind of been throwing wish lists for that for a while now. And him and VBD just kind of fits. Now, Alan Angels, like we said last week or a couple weeks ago, I wonder if he's sticking around. Yeah, he's Violence. So, with the debuts of Violence and Violence, shit's about to get crazy.
It's interesting because it's two dudes. I hope they expand to a large group. So it just gave me very much Dixie's ECW stuff.
You think?
Or Aces and Eights maybe be a better one. Where it's not that horrible. It wasn't horrible by any means. I love reveals. I like the group growing. I actually like Big Con, even though he's 42, more than I like the younger Alan Angels for this group. I guess he was who he's talking about the losses. But it's interesting because you have Big Con who's a big guy, Alan Angels a small guy. Are they the tag team? Then what's that do with Diener and Eric Young? Is Eric Young in singles, Diener in singles? So I want to see the combinations. Yeah, Big Con's got a good look. He's a big dude. They needed a big dude after, unfortunately, Doring taking a step away. A little bit older. And then Alan Angels, who I called last week Dollar Tree Daniels.
Christophe Danielle.
I just, look, man, if he hits and I'm wrong, cool. And I'm not even saying he's bad. So I'm not saying he's, I'm going to be wrong when he's good. I'm just saying, I just don't. The hype ain't there for me for these two being revealed as them. It felt like Ace and Eights where it was it's Nux.
Oh, come on! Don't
you don't think
Alan
you think
Angels like Wes Briscoe? Don't do that.
I won't say that honestly, he's the Wes. I won't say he's the Wes Briscoe, but I will say that I'll even be kind. They're the Nux and Gallows.
I can't even do that. I was legit. I mean, I'm not necessarily big fans of them, and then plus, if you want to get real with it, well, where's the other guy's name? Victor, the Ascension.
Not coming. That's why we got Alan Angels.
Yeah, but if you would think about it, it's where the hell is Victor? That's the tag team. There's more answers. There's more questions than answers, but there's also more additions to the roster. People want to talk about this mass talent exodus that happens with sports and people under contracts end and you move on. It's not the end of the world because a guy's contract
Oh
ran
no.
out. But it's more people, and this is one that they held on to for a while. Like, we didn't get any spoilers about this happening. This was like a legit shock shit. And honestly, I thought this should have been the main event. If they would have replaced this with Kaz and Josh versus Aussie Open, it would have been the perfect episode.
And with a DQ and a reveal, that's
Yeah.
fair. I just think the reveal. I don't know how you're. Oh, dude, I don't know how this is better than Ezekiel Jackson and Festus being, or not Festus, but who was the other one? Snitsky being ECW, Dixie's ECW 2 kind of thing, or Nux, and I don't see these guys as being. No one reported the spoiler because there was nothing to spoil. It was just two guys who would be on dark.
New talent additions. New additions to the roster. And hey, what's been our theme? What's been our theme the past few weeks? Another tag team, right?
Yeah, look. Another tag. Yeah. But so are the Johnsons.
Hey, if the Johnsons come back, we got a tag team that's taking L's and putting MFs over, and you got a new tag team, and you want to experiment some tag moves. Put the Johnsons out there.
Tell me who you're taking off your RTV to put on Angels and Khan. What tag team you put them over?
Not like we got a lot.
I'm optimistic about it.
3 weeks ago, we didn't have any. Now we're sitting here having. Now you're having this question of who you're taking off TV to put them on. So I mean,
I've never said the tag division didn't have teams. I've always said it had teams. Maybe you and your group of people say that, but I always say the depth is there. The creative was not pushing that depth. No, it's the same damn roster. It's the same people. The same people. Nah, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. I never said. I think the tag teams are there, just like I think the knockouts tags are there. It's the booking. It's not the depth. It's the booking of the depth. But regardless, yes, we could both agree that more is better. But if you're bringing in something that what was that? Mario Batali and Falaba or whenever they came.
Fucking Mario Bokara and Falaba.
That's the vibes I'm getting here.
What was the French dudes that Al Snow came in with? You remember them?
Yeah. They got the FTR treatment. They got those weird names. Baz Baraka.
Fucking Baraka with the blade.
Bazil Baraka, and. Oh, somehow there we go.
Baron Dax.
And Baron Dax, yes, yeah.
The Tribunal.
FTR's the Tribunal, yeah.
Yeah.
FTR's cousins.
Oh yeah. Big Con did get stomped the fuck out by Josh.
He did, yeah. He came in for a second. I
forgot.
Yeah, man. No, look. Once again, this isn't a shot at them or the addition to VBD. It's just. To say it needs to be main event, and that was going to be a big reveal. I just think it's going to be something that maybe in a few months, maybe they're not even the focus of EBD. We'll see.
It's like ending the episode on a not necessarily a cliffhanger, but on a oh shit, like that's a good way to end. That's all of the best TV shows have you at the end, like.
Yeah, no, I get that, but if I'm revealing, I don't know, I don't want to be a dickhead, but bro, come on, the reveal isn't. You're not revealing, it's Sasha Banks and Naomi.
This also wasn't a pay-per-view. This is a episode of Impact that was taped.
Well, it was perfect to be at this spot on the thing. Concluding this, Jordan looking like Luna Vacone with the paint on her head. She's got pictures. Or she's going to her locker room, and there's pictures on the wall. It's all Giselle stuff. So people have a fascination with giving pictures to Jordan. And Jay Vidal's in there, a Vegas staple of the Impact tapings. And he's now the new, I guess, Caleb with the K to Giselle's Madison and Tennille. So
Jay with a J.
Jay with a J. But so, hey, here's someone who is just someone that could really once again add another layer to Giselle's character. So I'm for it. It also pushes Jordan versus Giselle, which will happen in just a second with Tom and Matt at segment 18. But 17 real quick is Ace Austin defeating Moose. Ace Austin defeating Moose. Bullet Club making a push in the power rankings for obvious reasons. Big wins, Tommy Dreamer last week, or week before, and then Moose this week. Bully obviously playing a part here. Bully minding his own, especially, or besides for pissing off Moose, who he obviously is going to feud with because they're facing an Overdrive. Not only was that a dope-ass announcement to find out after the show, but I didn't expect to go there. I felt like Bully was in here for just to put over Josh, take a few wins along the way, and then bring some TNA nostalgia. Tim versus Moose at Overdrive. So interesting here. Thoughts on the match? Ace picking up the win and Bully being involved with Moose at Overdrive.
Everything was kind of good, kind of where it should be. My checklist: Ace got a dub, which means Bullet Club got a dub, which is always good. You get the story progression of Moose and Bully on who's going to be scumbag of the year.
Right.
And as far as like Bully, coming in and just putting over Josh, like, yeah, we know that's the thing, but I mean, I'm sure Bully's going to come in and work more than 2-3 matches. You know what I'm saying? And they'll probably do, especially with Bully saying he's going to do it when you'll see it coming. To me, that sounds like Hard to Kill.
For same.
So it's like, I imagine he would have been there till Hard to Kill, and it's not like he's going to sit here and be telling Josh every week, hey, bro, I'm not trying to screw you.
Yeah.
That would be kind of crazy. So, he's going to go through the list. I'm pretty sure him and Steve Macklin are going to run it back. Because Macklin, like I said, Macklin's got to get that dub over Bully so he can have that before Hard to Kill.
Really? See, I would think that if he does screw him out, if he is the reason, and I know someone's suggesting there, it's not obviously the definitive answer what's going to happen, but if Macklin is the reason Bully loses, which I hope it's not, but if it is, then it makes sense they fight after, but I just can't see Bully losing momentum prior to Hard to Kill. Now, the one thing I will say about Hard to Kill real quick before I lose it, that I don't know, has it always been like that?
No, this is a new Hard to Kill logo.
The eye Impact, which you can assume for Impact, the eye in there is around a old 6-sided ring, if you will, right?
It looked kind of like a casket type situation to me. That's what I took from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. Really
interesting. I just thought it'd be interesting, especially with Bully being in there.
As far as the whole Bully and Macklin situation, I'm looking at it in the sense of if Macklin gets a dub over Bully before Bully gets his shot at the world title, while they're still building for that match between Josh and Bully, Macklin's in the back like, yeah, F all that. I beat this dude, so how come I'm not in the match? And they're like, no, Steve, you're not going to get in the match. And then maybe the match ends on shenanigans, or maybe after the match, Macklin comes out and goes Hamburglar. Maybe he goes face, because this is a situation where if you're looking at it in a pure kayfabe sense, and you're watching the show, and you see Steve Macklin talking about how all these people have come in and got a title shot and have done next to nothing while he's beat damn near everybody.
Yeah.
In the kayfabe sense, it's like,
I 100% agree with you. I understand the reasoning behind it. I just don't get why you would ruin the momentum for Bully. Does Macklin need that victory before Bully gets his shot to have a stake, a claim at the shot, at the title? I don't think so.
Will that L kill Bully's momentum though? He's got a guaranteed shot, so it's not like, oh well, his momentum stopped, I guess he can't get a title shot anymore. No, it's guaranteed. That shit's ironclad.
No, the momentum in the sense of who would believe he has a chance at Josh if he loses to Macklin the month before the paper, or not even. Well, yeah, it wouldn't even be a month before the pay-per-view. I don't see the purpose.
To not look at it through kayfabe, like, who's really expecting Bully to win, period, regardless if he beats the shit out of Macklin in 2 seconds or not? Who's really...
About 75% of Twitter who complained about, if Bully wins, I'm never watching this again. So there's a lot of people that believe that Bully has a chance of this.
Well, those people are dum-dums, and they should know wrestling psychology better. They have a little D energy.
Bro, Says someone who said the same thing about Kazarian winning. And you believe so I don't want to hear it. Next up, 19
right.
is Kaz and Josh defeating Aussie Open. The Kaz is giving, I guess Kaz got the pin. That's why he moved up there. Aussie Open, surprisingly, picking up some L's lately. I don't know what's going on with that, but hey, they're not Impact people. And Kaz and Josh breaking a huge, I guess, trope, if you will, the team that's eventually going to face. Shout out to someone on YouTube comments who had this as well, I believe. But they didn't have they had a little moment of okay, will they mess this up and not win? But they put it together.
Will they coexist?
And they coexisted. Besides for one little moment that broke up a pin. So pretty cool. I thought it was a great match. I thought Aussie Open has it, whatever that is. It factor.
Yeah.
Which Johnny always. We gotta ask. Johnny always used to put SH on the back of trunks and send me the pictures all the time. Screenshot, yeah, sad one.
Shit,
nerds. Anyways, overall though, great main event, great show. Your overall rating and thoughts on how this show progressed us going into Overdrive.
As far as the show, honestly, with the exception of the Eddie Edwards and PCO thing, because I was not for it, this was a perfect episode to me.
Really?
Outside of that, and I mean, I could nitpick. Nitpick with the VBD reveal and all that being the main event, but still how it laid out, it was a perfect show for me.
Yeah, I'm not a big brawl guy. I'm not a big. If it's a nicely told story and it had a cool look, but when you're in the desert and it's the same shit. What are you gonna do? There's only so much you could do. So I feel you on that. I still despite. I really didn't feel like there was anything that really upset me. Like even at the same point, I could sit back, watch the desert thing, and just be like, okay, and then a bunch of other stuff happened right after. But thought for the VBD reveal, which despite how I sounded, I was happy that someone got revealed. I thought it was a B+ effort for me. I thought there were some good matches. I thought Advance the X tournament, which had importance. The show looked good. Show, it played well.
Yeah.
So 24% agree with myself. Lucha, what was your?
It was an A for me.
64%. Lucha going high, which I don't blame you, man. It's something that I really want to start feeling that way about it, but I don't know if it's a trust. It's not a trust factor. It's just that I think I'm looking for, I don't know, aesthetics.
You're waiting for the I don't know how. I honestly don't know how this episode wasn't an A for you. It was like I honestly was thinking me and you would be on the same wavelength. That's why I hit you.
B+.
I was at an A. You know what I mean?
I know. It's pretty close. Look, there's some things that I think, obviously we didn't get it. I like the VBD segment. I know I mentioned that again, but Eric Young and Sammy, I would have liked to have a winner. I get why not. We'll get eventually. It's not a big whatever. I thought the X Factor thing was cool. There's a lot. There's nothing that is stopping me from the A per se. Besides, like, I don't know. I don't know if it didn't have, I don't know, something. There's one little, you'll know when, but it had some great moments and it was a great show. And a B+ is nothing to hang our heads on, but or whatever. 64% went A. C 5% and 7%, which I think amounted to 3 or 4 people, little D's. And you know what we say about that? If you really get your rocks off, waiting for this thing to come out each week, and you put 7, or and you vote D to be part of that 7%, then God bless you. Here's a hug.
If you do that and you don't watch the product, it's like, why are you giving it time? And if you do that and you do watch the product, it's like,
well, because they need a hug.
Why are you lying though? Like, if you want a hug, come get this group hug from everybody enjoying the damn show.
Because some people, and it was hard for me to understand this, and I didn't realize this until I started this channel and started putting my face on camera and talking things. Some people get the same amount of enjoyment in making someone else miserable as people making others happy. It's really weird. I've never got that. I've never witnessed that. I mean, I've witnessed some shitty ass people in my life, but just never. These internet people are crazy.
Well, just so y'all know, Fly God loves y'all. If no one else does, Fly God does. Just be happy, you know what I'm saying? Smiles are lit. Smiles are lit.
Why so serious? Millard got some interesting things in there. Jeff, what group gets a female first in Impact? VBD or Bullet Club?
You know the damn answer to that question.
You think Bullet Club because you think Tasha and Savannah make the most sense. And they do. I think that would be next level. We'll obviously get to Tasha's future later. Or just a second. VBD,
So it's the race.
I really believe that VBD... Masha makes too much sense there. I know she's coming back soon. Where will it be? I don't know. But they teased us with a chick at the original vignettes for the VBD growth. I just think that she would be such a game changer for that group.
What if it happens like at the same show, like Tasha and Savannah join Bullet Club, and then fucking Masha joins VBD?
A+ show. That gets A+ show.
Better not have no Lil D energy on that.
No, man. I that's good shit. It's good shit, but I get this vibe of Eric Young, and you're going to laugh, but Eric Young and ODB, right? Just for the energy made sense for what they were doing. A Masha and Eric Young where they're vibing and they have the same, they make sense, would just be so cool, man. They're both crazy. They'd be nuts. They can lure both each other in a battle. I think it would just be so cool for one of them to be A and B, or I guess Eric Young's A. I don't know. But let's get into hot topics, man. Sue Young, a member of VBD.
So you're looking at Masha in VBD, kind of sort of how Nikki Cross was presented in Sanity. It's like I hate to be the one to like compare Sanity to VBD, but it's like
it's the same thing, right?
Essentially,
it's his vision being able to be acted out, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch NXT that much, but I either way, I love VBD and I love the brand of it. I love the idea of it. I love the vignettes. I just think she fits, man. So does Macklin, I think, but we'll see. Let's see where they take it. I would love a just giant factions in the sense of VBD. Oh, someone mentioned that, by the way, up there, and I didn't call it out because life. OVE. Be interesting, man. I know that we're going to talk about, we like where Jessica is right now with the Death Dolls and stuff, but she's got faces of Jessica, we'll call it. We got Havoc, we got other things, but wouldn't the next iteration be really cool if it was part of OVE, her and Fulton and maybe Jake back? It'd be with Sammy. I think that'd be really cool, but maybe Rich finally takes that shirt and puts it on and he's OVE.
Yeah, well, Rich is from fucking Baltimore, so I mean,
yeah,
how you Ohio versus everything from Baltimore?
Because they grew up in, I don't know.
So
there's a lot of people that aren't from where they say they are, though. But I am. All right, let's get into these because we got a lot of them, and I want to hit them. Quinn Shines, welcome back.
My bowl.
Hot topics. Macklin's promo was awesome. Bully Kaz, Bobby Fish getting a chance to Impact title before him makes no sense since he feed Impact's top talents actually signed Impact. Correct. I mean, technically they're all signed Impact, but I get your point. Ace needed that win over Moose. Yep. So glad he won, but I thought the match should have been more competitive. I do not. I don't. If Ace was the win, you can't have a team, kayfabe, that's been losing quite consistently. Not really winning in singles, especially. Why would they then face Moose and beat them decisively? I just or competitively. I mean,
it's in the kayfabe sense. Still, at the end of the day, it's a big dude versus a small dude. So you know what I'm saying, there's the upset factor of it, which is kind of what we're going for here, especially with the bigger dude being the scumbag of the year candidate, finalist. Excuse me, scumbag of the year finalist.
Semi-finalist.
Yeah, I give him that.
I don't know, man.
But it's. And plus, it's Bullet Club. They're over. They're cool. They love Bullet Club, especially this iteration. Like there wouldn't have been a better iteration put in Impact than these two together as a tag because they're kind of like the same person
for Impact. Yeah,
they're both like
future.
the next AJ, if you will. Like either one of them could be AJ.
They're AJ and Daniels. Yeah, they're AJ and Daniels.
I can't even separate the two.
I got to stick with the Ace. I said from the debut was the best prospect we've had since AJ Styles. I'm gonna stick with that. And the when it comes down to it, the only thing that differentiated Daniels from AJ was the age. Daniels had been in the game, and that style of wrestling really wasn't, whatever yet. So when he flourished, it was TNA. AJ got to flourish from the get because he did that style right when that got popular. And and you can even say that promo-wise, Daniels, there's just great comparisons on Daniels and AJ's level, and it doesn't matter who they take. Just as it doesn't matter if you take Savannah and I take Tasha. Moving on here. Next up, Best Side 92. The KO tag division is only the Dolls, Tasha Evans, and Vexed. They need to add a few more wrestlers in the tag division, especially if Chelsea decides to go back to WWE Week. W Week, is that a thing? And Shaw keeps getting put in groups and eventually break up, whether it was her and Lady Frost, Alicia, Influence. Is like some running joke or something? Yeah. They mentioned it on the show. They said, "Hey, aren't you responsible for Influence breaking up?" Look, I think we're not with her. I think it's a matter of they like her. They want her to be a rising star and now a star. But they weren't going to put the belt over Jordan. Jordan came first. So do you keep having her lose to Jordan and a bunch of people in the singles, or do you put her in tags and keep her relevant and have her not fit in? Now, I think Lady and Frost would have fit in.
Yeah.
But because of Lady Frost thing, it kind of put Giselle where she had to find something else. She found Alicia, then they found the Influence, and now she's found Vexed, and now she's found Jay Vidal. So I think she found her way, and what we could be looking at this, or the way we should be looking at this, is they've kept her relevant even when they knew they weren't going to crown her. I mean, that says a lot for the, whatever for her. Now, as far as the KO tag division, yeah, I mean, there is a few, but we're once again 86, 88 minutes of television. It looks like at any given spot when they pull the trigger, if Vexed, which I believe Chelsea will leave, but even if they break up or not, Giselle can find someone or not. Once again, Havoc or Rosemary or Taya could break off or don't. Taylor can find something new since she's probably going to that witchy thing. I think there's a lot of options. Once again, they just got to pull the trigger if they want to. Once again, 88 minutes of television. So, Lucha, your thoughts?
You said it.
I figure we'd be on the same page with that one, at least.
Yeah.
Next up is one about people, speaking of leaving, and looking at it from different ways. Because I know we took out of Tasha's thing, and stop with the hate on Tasha, man. Look, people are entitled to their opinions. If they want to be honest, kudos. I'd rather someone be straight up and real all the time so you know what's happening than lie and say all the good stuff and the next day just leave us and show up on something else. She never talked shit about Impact. In fact, in that same conversation, and that's what I wanted to bring up, she said, I want a main event in Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. Yes, she did say she did everything else. I just think at the same time, if you're 36 years old, 35 years old, whatever you are, and you've been in a company and you enjoy it and you have and someone asks you, hey, would you, before it's all said and done, do you want to go for a WrestleMania moment? Do you want to do anything on a bigger stage? Well, no shit. Why would you, especially if you come into the game looking to be in the pinnacle moment of wrestling, right? That's what most people get. They want to be champion. They want to have a moment. I don't hate on it. If she shit on Impact or was going out of her way, even though her contract's running up, to talk bad or say, yeah, I'm looking to get out, that's another story. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, she didn't say, I can't wait till I'm gone. She didn't, go and trash the company. She, like the headline says, I want to main event and Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. That's what the headline says. So she said that. Now, as far as the, her saying she wants a WrestleMania moment, like, bro, so does everybody else.
Right.
Like, Jeff, you don't wrestle and you don't even rock with WWE like that. But if you have the opportunity to have a WrestleMania moment, are you saying no?
Yeah, no, that's something that I've always thought about. Even especially when I was young, I was like, if I wanted to be a wrestler, say, and I was like, no, I'm gonna make TNA, like that's my thing because that's what I love. Okay, but as a human being, once you reach that pinnacle as well, and why the hell wouldn't that be something? It's still in history, a big ass deal. It's a big ass deal. It is what it is.
And then plus, if you just so happen to get to that level to where, say, you do main event Bound for Glory, then you main event WrestleMania. Like, how
Yeah.
many people have main evented both Bound for Glory and WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Is there
I
any?
wait. Kurt hasn't main evented a WrestleMania, not as the last match.
No, him versus Lesnar? No, that wasn't, right?
Was that the last match?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so, to be honest. Well, people, I'm sure Critical Sting will come in there. No,
If so, that's it.
yeah, and I get your I think we're on the same page with this. I think the page people have to look at as well is not just saying like accepting that Impact's whatever. That's not the point of this. Of course, I don't want our signed talent saying, "Oh man," as Lucha was saying, "I want to go tomorrow." Like, let's get out of here. But everyone just shit on Tony Khan for going to interview and not answering a damn question about the stuff that matters or that people ask him. So our talent goes on somewhere and gets some buzz and gets some headlines for answering questions, yet staying loyal to the brand and pushing the brand of Impact. I just don't. Guys, we got to let go. We got to breathe. Because, I mean, who else is doing that? Taya did it. We complained about, or not we, but they complained about that. Who was the most, Deanna did it. Didn't complain about that. Chelsea. Like, come on, guys. It's conversation. People are going to ask because WWE and AEW are the two biggest things that get probably clickbait.
Not even that. It's Wrestle freaking Mania.
Well, yes, as well. Yes, as well. I'm just saying the people are going to ask these questions because they want
because
views,
nobody's saying, "Oh, I can't wait to go to AEW in main event or Double or Nothing," or whatever the hell they're.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, it depends on what's who they're talking about, what interview. But point is we're who cares? The $1.99 next up. Juice going to AEW is whatever, and everybody knew that is where he was going. I didn't know that. But for Impact to bring him on TV, it was just completely unnecessary. Why, didn't he appear on Impact before AEW? Yeah. I don't think Ace Bay need the Bullet Club. They are fine on their own. Okay. But the main question is, when will they get to the main event scene? They only have them in the tag division for so long before they realize Josh or whoever the champion is has no other new opponents to face. This is a two-parter that I just don't... I think... Oh, you go for
it? I got it if you got it, because I think we're also on the same on this one.
Shoot.
All right, now, as far as them being with Bullet Club, do they necessarily need Bullet Club? No. In the situation, I guess, with Impact, it's more of a situation where, not saying Bullet Club needs Impact, but the brand in Impact needs strong representation. And what better representation than the two prospects, the future of the company, associated with the brand that's like, still, one of the top brands to this day. If it wasn't for the bloodline, Bullet Club would probably still be like the number one brand as far as stables go.
That's fair. Yeah.
So it's not no, they don't need Bullet Club, but I mean, you throw that Bullet Club sticker on them, and it's just like, oh, shit. And then plus, you got the biggest compliment, like they're good enough to be, in the main on their own. So them as a tag team is also going to be even juicier. If you're a fan of both of them, they've only been in the tag division maybe a month and a half.
Yeah. And not even thriving, just kind of being there, floundering. Right?
Yeah, and we're on the. We see ever since that spoiler came out that Bullet Club lost to the Fat and the Furious, everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're killing Bullet, you're killing Bay and Ace, you're doing this and that." Da, 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 da. Who was the guy who took that L? Juice Robinson, a dude who didn't work there, a dude who could have took that loss, and Bullet Club still, or as far as Bay and Ace go, still kept their momentum. Exactly. So he was necessary.
He was, and I don't think it was a lock for him to go there. I think anyone is a lock to go elsewhere, if you want to put it in that way. Because if that's all you're going to expect is unless they say, there's a better probability of someone leaving anything compared to them staying. That's just Facts. Let alone going to two higher paying companies. It just, so you're going to be right majority of the time, right? Because they're not, the majority are going to leave, minority are going to stay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get all that, but you have to take your chance. And if a guy says, like Juice is going to stick around and says, hey, yeah, I'm actually debating it. We'll see if we could work it out here. And then he's like, no, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to AEW, take that money. And they takes L's on the way out. Screw it. I don't care, man. He's one of those guest stars that comes in and whatever. He didn't do anything. He didn't take any belts, whatever. As far as the Ace and Bay thing in the tag division, no, I think they do need to work their way up through there. Obviously, Ace got the victory over Moose, Bay over Dreamer. I think they go there for a while and pick up some momentum before they maybe inevitably split or whatever it may be. But when you're talking about Josh or whoever the champion is, Josh has not faced PCO for the belt. He not faced Macklin for the belt. He not faced Bully yet or Kazarian. He hasn't faced Rich for the belt or Sammy for the belt. He hasn't wrestled Moose again. So there are a lot of people that he can still wrestle just to speed up the process of Ace and Bay so they can not organically rise to that and then lose to Josh. I think there's other ways around it, but I think a tag team victory a la AJ and Daniels did as well would be a cool thing for them to hang their hat on, go there, and then be Triple Crown or win all the belts Impact has to offer. Moving along, Impact and Eagles, welcome back. Vikingo is the guy I want Impact to sign. I mean, just got injured, but hell yeah. Let's get that going.
Hell yeah.
This is a little thing about Isaiah Brookside offer on the table with telling Tommy Dreamer, telling Brookside that if she can get her visa issues or taken care of, opportunity is there for her in Impact. There's an update today as her accepting or her saying like, just waiting, would love to. I don't know too much about her besides that, she is a product of wrestling, right? Her dad's a wrestler as well, British legend. As far as a personal standpoint, the only thing I've heard about her is negative. And that comes as far as maybe attitude, but I don't know. Other than that, I couldn't tell her from a whatever. Do you have any thoughts on her or any insights? Just see how it plays out if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know too much about her. If she comes in, cool. If she don't, cool. If she's good, cool. If she's, terrible, then not saying cool, but there's some. If she's terrible and people want her in there, then there's other calls we should be making about terrible people in the locker room. Not saying.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the validity or the extent of it. I know who you're talking about, but I'm all for it. The Rough Riders will ride again.
And they will ride all night long.
Buddy Chris Saletta back at it. What's up? Trying to sneak you one in here real quick, buddy, because I know you got it at the last minute. Appreciate you as always. But we got one saying Bobby Roode. Now, I do think there'll be some people in WWE becoming available after Mania. Those after Mania cuts. Not going to be anybody major, but people Impact could look at. Yeah, same with Brookside there. They're all not going to be sign them tomorrow people. But can we hit on somebody who has this lines up like what they want from wrestling at this point in their career and what we want from a talent? I think there's a lot of them that line up for us like that. Deanna lined up for us like that. The Good Brothers lined up for us like that. Heath. There's people in the company still to this day that lined up for us because of the after Mania cuts. So is it the best way to get free agents? Would I love to say, Juice, you want to stay? And he stays? Yes. Would I love that for Jonah and Bandito? And yes, but hey, man, we got to play with the cards we're dealt, and there's nothing wrong. Look, Macklin was one of these people that everybody laughed. Oh, Steve Cutler, what are you going to do with him? Look what he's doing.
We're going to push him to the moon.
Look what he's doing. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on that.
And I mean, with Bobby Roode, though, and guys like that, I don't even necessarily think they have to get released in order for them to show up.
Oh, no. We talked about that a little bit last week. I just think there's opportunity. Look, here's the reason. It's a perfect segue, Lucha. So, extra points to you on next whatever we do.
Talking points.
There you go. But this, which I love here, by the way. I want to see if people get upset about if Josh doesn't break the record as much as they got upset about with Bailey, and I understand why. It's gonna be a different situation, I imagine. Probably be a more Kazarian's a homegrown talent too. I don't know. We could debate that all day. But regardless, they're making these reigns feel important. Josh has the third longest reign in history. I guarantee. It just seems like I don't guarantee, because actually now that I look at it, it seems like it's high 200s. I just feel like he breaks AJ's.
Yeah.
Okay. So it makes sense he breaks AJ's, because that's not even hard to kill. But I just have this vision, and I don't know if it's glorious, if that's the music will be used, because I doubt it's going to be he's off the chain. He's off the chain. Yeah, no.
It'll be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's his. Yeah. That's it without the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, not Beerman. Either way, I just feel like Josh is gonna. You talked about it earlier. He opened TNA's Pandora box. He's been using the Styles Clash. He's been doing this. He's been doing that. He talks about having to beat people like Kazarian and Bully Ray to make this world title reign the same level as the AJ Styles and the Johnny Impacts that he just passed, and Sting and Bobby Roode, whatever. When he talks and has that promo, it'd be so dope if Bobby Roode just comes out. And between selling his micro brawler and Triple H being there, and I think understanding the whatever of having a good relationship with us, I don't know. There's always got to be two companies, right? Why not make good with the one you actually respect?
Facts.
But Josh, number 3, congratulations. Gonna keep moving up. Just realized Hot Topics has disappeared.
It was too hot.
Here's another one. Oh, nope. I buzzed through that because I buzzed over the Josh one. Well, let's go to this Taylor Wilde because I already mentioned it. Another dope shirt. Another dope graphic. Another dope thing that makes me want to buy one of their stuff.
Which is the goal. They look good. They're selling a good two-sided shirts. Plays to that witchy character, so look out for that. Shout out to them. But jumping back, Lady Frost, it's only a picture because the update is this. I don't know any details, don't know anyone backstage. We'll get some I'm sure stuff will pop up after this episode comes out, not because of us, but just because of timing. Following those breadcrumbs, they're pretty good about it. I said it about the Good Brothers still had their tag belts because that meant the roster page people didn't want to change it or before they deleted them off the page. Lady Frost is off the page. She's no longer part of the Impact roster as far as on ImpactWrestling.com, and that's usually a good sign of them just sweeping it under the rug and moving on. I know we could say what we want about her as far as the situation. I'm a big fan of her individually, and her talents didn't work out with Impact for one reason or another. If it is the case, which it seems to be, she's granted a release, I hope she pops up somewhere. She's another person who, and I think that was the grand scheme of this, wants the most for her buck at the age that she's at. I mean, when you're a wrestler at 38, in your high 30s, there's a couple paychecks left. Why not do it for the biggest buck? And I get that. So if that's the case, good for her, and I'm glad Impact can move on from this and her as well. I got that.
Oh, I thought I froze you.
No.
I don't blame you. We got to that. All right, guys, we're wrapping up here, but we got 2 more. These are 2 big heavy hitters. Here's the first one. Our founder, one of our founders, Jeff Jarrett, is All Elite. Used our theme, our TNA Jeff Jarrett theme, which seems divisive. I don't know. I don't really kick it on Twitter too much anymore, but I see mixed reviews, or Johnny sent us something. But either way, he's come in dressed like 7. Old WCW heads know what I'm talking about here. Dustin Rhodes coming in 7. He's friends with Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. Why are they friends? I don't know. But I thought it was interesting if, without conspiracy, take it away. The conspiracy theory in me, the want to make up some deeper meaning here. But he did mention of the impact he made in the wrestling world. So I'm not saying there's something bigger at play. But if you're Tony Khan and you're a TNA mark to begin with, because, come on, tunnels, everything else, would it be something that pops wrestling to have a TNA invasion when we're headed? I don't know, man. I don't know. You know how I feel about rebranding as TNA in general, even though I think they made wonderful strides as Impact. I just think there's money in it, and everything from the X Factors to the presentation to the graphics to the bomb-ass intro this week, by the way. And I know it's the same old, whoa, we own the night shit, but it was the people on there. It just looked like a dope roster. But even if this doesn't, lead to anything with us, at the same time, it's advertising for the Impact Plus app, right?
Basically. Now, as far as because he's got an office job, as I like to call him. So, as far as that part goes, I'm all for this. This is like one of the type of people that I felt like AEW needed. People
sure.
like that in this. So, as far as that goes, I'm hyped for that. Now, the Homer in me is sad he didn't come home and fulfill the prophecy.
I agree.
And then also, I'm not a fan of him being an on-screen talent. Involved. Like, I'm not cool that that promo happened and that whole reveal and that whole shit. I don't necessarily like that. Would I be singing the same note if he had came to Impact and the same thing happened? Probably not.
No.
Because I wanted Planet Jarrett.
Yeah.
But like maybe like an evil authority figure, or a evil guy to like counteract Scott D'Amore. You know what I'm saying?
I'm all for it. I wanted him to be here. I wanted him to be on TV. I think you can't pass up that that history. And the fact that he's there it's not. I'm not gonna take it as a slap in the face as some people have. Look, he's got to make a living. Were we offering the same gig for the same money? Probably not. Were we offering anything to him? Who knows?
Probably not.
Probably not. I think the fences are mended or whatever. The bridge is rebuilt there with us. But
shit just dead.
Look, I think we should just take this. Yeah, we should just take this as a literal. We're already advertising on AEW. So why not have an advertising on the product as well? And Jeff Jarrett being there is that. Once again, I don't understand, though, how someone who, I guess he knows how to set it up, he knows how to make the infrastructure, I guess he knows how to make it work. So it makes sense for him to keep getting live event coordinating whatever gigs. But TNA never drew more than 500 at house shows. So but look, they already have a built-in. Get ready for the AEW baseball stadium shows.
I'm actually cool with that. I actually like
already do that.
Look. I like the look of baseball stadium shows. You know what I'm saying?
I hate
it. Especially if you can like pack that fucker out. Like if you have like a show like in Yankee or something. If you can pack that bitch out.
Yankee, they would have to pay an arm and a leg to get it, but it's one of those show my sack moments. Tony Khan would take a beating in the revenue for, I think, just to have that moment. So I think it's possible. But look, more power and success to them. Great for you guys. Having people in a position that know what they're doing, despite the jab of the 500 TNA house show attendance. Yes, it's a smart play because he knows that. Look, Jeff puts the infrastructure down. AEW draws. We'll see. But I still think there could be a spike in having a TNA faction. Speaking of spike, not really, but kind of through that way, TV networks, our last one up here is a little bit of a breadcrumb as well. Something I saw through PW Insider, Steven Fernandez, here with the report. Former president of Pop TV placed in charge of CW Network. Now, this is going to seem like a stretch, but knowing the very little I know about how TV works, having an in with anyone as being a reliable hand in anything goes a long way. So before we mention this, what's that?
Isn't that how AEW on Turner is a thing? Because there's someone who like Tony was cool with. That also,
Yeah, maybe. I don't really know the logistics or the how that transpired, but I if that's the case, even better for the narrative. But Brad Schwartz, who was the Pop TV president during TNA Impact run, he was the guy who actually laughed and enjoyed in the Hardy stuff in interviews and stuff. So always respected Brad Schwartz. He wasn't a fan of Dixie, didn't seem. But now he is the president, the new president of CW Entertainment. And CW's cleaning house. They need more content. People are saying because he was responsible for overseeing all the programming decisions. Oh, no, that he is responsible, excuse me, which was recently purchased by Nexstar going forward. Impact was regularly the top program for the former TV Guide channel Pop during its run there. Now, once again, maybe totally 80s would have been a hit for them during Pop because it didn't really have much, but it did have Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, and the Schitt's Creek is the Schitt's Creek right now.
Is the Schitt's Creek? I'm going to shout out to Schitt's Creek as usual.
Shout out to Swedish Dicks.
The Swedish Dicks not as successful, but it goes for saying that sometimes if you need, look, he's going into a job as the head of a network, right? Okay, he's going in there and he's got to make some changes to get it right the ship, so to speak. He's going to look for new programming, sure. He's going to look for hot new programming and buy whatever and create a vibe for what CW's to come. But he's also going to look for maybe some crutches. So the possibility of an Impact Wrestling get a first run rights on a CW network would be not only it would be outstanding for Impact. It's just something that seems plausible.
Now peep this. Wait. Treehouse. I lost my thought. Okay, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. All right, now peep this.
Yeah.
One of the more successful times of CW wasn't SmackDown on CW.
For a time, for that little changeover between UPN and CW, right? Like they branded or something.
I feel like SmackDown was on CW at some point, and I think that was like a really big, a big thing for them.
Okay.
And so, I mean, between that and the fact that, Brad has history with Impact through Pop, and he knows that Impact was like his highest rated shit.
Right.
And they were doing actually decent numbers on Pop.
They weren't doing bad. It was always covering 300. And I know that. Always covering 300,000.
That's what NXT's pulling.
Once again, on a limited channel. Less limited than Access? I don't think they're on the same level. They might be, but I'm not sure.
I think Access is on more base tiers than Pop was.
Than Pop, okay. Oh, that's not good.
I could be wrong.
Well, either way.
Pop was also the TV Guide channel. So if you had the TV Guide channel, you had Pop.
Fair enough. Any way we look at it, an opportunity to be seen in front of more eyes is more opportunity. And a fresh rebranding from us, coinciding with the release onto there would be dope. Now, is this a fairy tale? Is this something that's going to happen? I don't know. Which one way or another. Is it even mentioned anywhere other than that? No. But just like the Lady Frost thing, just like things we've mentioned over time and somehow been right on. We're not geniuses. We don't have inside knowledge. It's following breadcrumbs. And that's a breadcrumb that's worth following. Because, hey, we were talking about this off air. Impact Plus has thousands of hours of content. At the end of the day, that is still their most valuable asset. And if they can, even if they get a shit deal on CW, that gives them enough to advertise, do some things, up the game in production, whatever it may be, bring in some heavy hitter, whatever it is. If they could just get some money from there, because they're already breaking even, we say that, right? They're already playing within the black. Then that's an added bonus. So if they take a cheap deal on the Prove It deal to begin with, fuck it. That's advertising for Impact Plus, which is more money. It's advertising for the second runs and everything else that Impact
House
Plus
shows
holds.
And shit.
House shows. So come on. Either way, this is something. It might not be the moment we're looking for. It might not be the end game for us. But these are the moments, just like WWE releases, as sad as that sounds, are the things we need to look as opportunities for us. Might not be the one that we hit on, but it's something that's out there. So something to keep your guys' mind on. I'm trying to end on a positive there, because I think this has been a positive whole shtick for Impact lately, coming out of Bound for Glory. We're in a time where we weren't sure. So I see apparently Aldis is leaving NWA. I think you told me that literally right before we went on air.
Yeah.
It's another interesting cat. Another interesting guy with a lot of TNA history who I might not have been fond of in the first run for one reason or another.
The return of Dixieland in Impact.
Oh, yo, I'm telling you.
Dixie, Aldis, and Spud.
EC3 coming out to Trouble, Trouble, Trouble and acting like nothing is different. And everyone else, like Moose and everyone being like...
With the curl and shit.
With the bro. With the tiger print, whatever the hell the get up was with all the gemstones. Bring it back. Bring it back. All right, guys. I want to say thank you guys for rocking with us. Lighten up the chat as always. Lifeblood of the show as well as the comments. We might not always agree, as Lucha said, but the point is to have a different opinions and still support the same damn thing, lift it up, and make sure other people know that even though some stuff is, whatever. Put on B+ to A shows this week at least. And seems like the future. Some great episodes coming up. From us, I guess. Another LO TNA coming up. It is TNA Jams, 9 songs, revealing 10 people for our following week's Battle Royal. TBN Chats will have another one coming up soon. We'll have Talking Points back. GoGo Power Rankings every Tuesday. All our shows. But Impact was where I was going. And next week we have Giselle versus Jordan. We have Bailey versus Trey. I'm missing them, and they're going by as I, as I say it. You know anything else we got, Lucha?
I think I don't know. It's off my head. I'm looking at Talking Bloody Nonsense on my Tron.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Tron, hopefully stalling enough till it catches up. But we know we get Giselle versus Jordan. Hendry Myers, thank you, Critical Sting, always clutch.
Yeah.
Hendry Myers for the DMC. Shirt. Yeah, man. So we got some fun stuff coming up on with us. We got some great stuff. Aldis is shit every day.
Mickey Chelsea.
Mickey Chelsea, thank you. Interesting one to keep an eye on. Is this Chelsea's last little run here? I doubt Mickey loses here. So, but thank you guys. I want to end this before the length of Impact is 88 minutes. We're not going to be longer than 88 minutes. We're going to stick to that. Lucha, you want to say anything to sign us off?
The usual. Shout out Diamond Villain. Shout out Mike G. Shout out Impact Wrestling. Let me hit the joint. Let me hit it. Nope.
Doing shit about us or no?
There we go.
You're doing that? Right.
Yeah.
Represent Impact Wrestling, everyone, and regardless, let's enjoy it. Let's look out for the best to come from Impact, and I don't want to say TNA, but who knows?
TNA. Oh yeah, my call to action. Let's stop the Impact Wrestling chants. Let's get back to TNA. Let's fully embrace this. It's total nonstop action. That's what the company is. Like, it's Impact. We're Impact Wrestling now, but they're still providing total nonstop action.
I don't know. TNA. I don't want to fall into a TNA presents Impact Wrestling or vice versa, but we'll leave you off on that note. Let us hear us in the comments here. Should we go back to TNA? We'll leave that as a cliffhanger for next week. You said we should leave on a cliffhanger. Should we be TNA Wrestling or should we be Impact Wrestling? We'll follow up on that next week. Thank you guys. We love you. See you next time.
Well, I think... Perfect.